So now we'll start the Mamer Tzeno Reno. This Mamer is actually the 19th Mamer in the Maimorim of Likutei Torah. And okay, we'll continue. So Tzeno Ureno Benois Sion Bamelech Shloimoi Ba'atoro Sha'otro Loi Imoy B'yoim Chasunosoi U'B'yoim Simchas Liboy. So the pasuk says that that they should go out, the Benois Sion, they should go out and they should go ahead and see King Shlomo. And they should look basically on the crown that his mother has gotten him, the crown that his mother has crowned him on the day of his wedding, B'yom Chasunosoi, and on the day of rejoicing of his heart. But Amru Razal, our sages tell us that what does it mean, B'yom Chasunosoi, on the day that he got married? When is that? Zamatan Torah. That is when the Eibishter gave us the Torah. So basically, it's a metaphor for Hashem. The Bnei Sion are the Bnei Yisrael, the daughters of Zion, which is the Bnei Yisrael. So they should go out and look on that special crown, which Matan Torah brought about for the Yidden. That is Yom Chasunosoi, Yom Simchas Liboy. Okay. So Lahovin Mahu Loshin Tzeeno. What does it mean, the language we say go out? Ki mehechan titzeeno. Where should they go out from? You're saying they should go out. Where are they coming out from? The Yitzia Zu Ma Inyono. What is this idea of going out? What is this going out from where and why are they going out? Hine Amru Razal, our sages tell us that Loizos HaKodesh Baruch Hu Mechabevo L'Knesses Yisrael Ad Shekoro Imi. Sages tell us that Hashem expressed his love, his dearness to the Knesses Yisrael by using various names. First, my daughter, my beloved, until he calls her my mommy, my imi. So that's another level, another step in the expression of love of the Eibishter is by calling her imi. So, loving zeh. So to understand this, what is this idea? Tzorich lahovin ma shenikra shem havaya beloshen chachomim tanoim v'ameroim. So we need to understand why the Eibishter, the name of Hashem, what is the language the Chachamim used? Tanoim v'ameroim, they call him b'shem HaKodesh Baruch Hu. They call him the Holy One, blessed be He. Why did we give the Eibishter a name of HaKodesh Baruch Hu? What's the reason for that? Now, the word Kodesh is going to explain means exalted. And Baruch means that he is Mamshech. Eibishter is both exalted and at the same time he is also Mechai, is also Mamshech. Usually, if something is removed, it doesn't have a connection. And if something is connected, then it's not removed. The Eibishter way of relating to the world is HaKodesh Baruch Hu. He's both. He is Kodesh, and then he is also Baruch. V'loma, that's what he's asking. V'loma bacharu chachamim shem zeh mishar shemes sheyesh lo yisbarech. Why did the sages choose? The sages, why did they choose this name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu more than other names that Hashem has? That Hashem Blessed has other names. And here they choose to call him HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what is the idea? Ki pirush umbiur milas kodesh bevav. To understand the meaning of kodesh with a vav. Now there is the word kodesh kuf dalet shin without a vav. That means pronounced as kodesh. And then we have the lotion of kodesh. Kodesh with a vav. Shahavov moide al hamshocha. The vav points on drawing down. Shehi. So while he is kodesh, but it's vav coming down. The vav points to a hamshocha. Versus kodesh. Kodesh without a vav means that it's just aloof, it's higher, it's separated. Kodesh is with a vav. Shehi hamshochas kedushaso yizbarich. That is to extend Hashem's blessed holiness, to be filling and surrounding the lights that in the world. So both that the world should be filled and surrounded by Hashem. That's the vav, shows that there is hamshocha from the level Ein Sof. So he says shehu hamshocha v'ha'ora b'alma. That is just a drawn down, and what it comes is just a ray. It is not the essence. It's not the Kodesh itself, but it's a ha'oreh from the Kodesh that comes down. Why? She'ein aroich elov yizbarech. Because really there is no comparison to Hashem. So you can't really, the world is not a place where Hashem himself can come down. Only ha'oreh, because the world is ein arich elov yizbarach. There is no comparison to him blessed. Kihu agdus poshut. Because Hashem is very simple unity. And because it's simple unity is not shaykh for him, V'hanivroim heim bali gvul, heim bali gvul. The nivroim are limited. So therefore, what comes down into a limited world from the simple unity, the Ein Sof, is merely ha'oreh. Even the created supreme beings, the greatest of the beings, still have no comparison to Hashem. And the supreme beings, as we say in the pasuk, Elef alovim v'ribe rivovim, that there's 10,000 times 10,000 of angels, that army that serve Hashem. And there is another pasuk which says, Hayesh mispar ligidudov, is there then a number for all the battalions that serve Hashem? So even these great creations, Shehem b'mchinas ein mispar ve'ein soif, they are in the level that you cannot be counted and there is no end to them. So even those levels, mikol mokoim, and still, areheim b'mchinas hischalkus, they're not achdus, they're unlimited, but there is an unlimited amount, unlimited pieces. They are still separated. They're not one. They're not achdus. It is only that dividing, it's not a dividing that is limited, a limited division. It's an endless levels. It is so much addition, so much that there is no end and there's no finish. It's unlimited. But it's still not achdus. It's not unity. As opposed to the Ein Sof by himself. Loi shayich kol zeh. There it doesn't apply all this. Hu yizbarech avdus pashut betachlis hapshitus. For he blessed is one, simple one in total simplicity. So how do we get into this world of separation from the world of union, unity, from the Achdus Pshuta into even the greatest world? But it draws down something which is a very limited hamshocha and a ray which is restricted a little michdei so that the world and that the created being should each one be able to receive everyone according to their level. So while we have a hamshocha from the level of Achdus Hapshuta into the created beings, but still, even though it's harder, it's like harder to still that Ha'oram Shoch is called in a level of Kodesh and separate. Why do we call this Kodesh Umuvdal Hamshocha? Hamshocha that is holy and separated. Ha'oram Hamshocha zu einoi kidimyoin haneshama hamispashetes b'toich haguf lachyosu l'kaimer. It is not compared to a soul, to the soul, which expands into the body to vitalize it and to sustain it. Because in that hamshocha of the neshama, shehi mispa'eles mimikre haguf, the neshama is impacted by the happenings of the body. Lefi shehi milubeshes mamesh b'toich haguf, because the neshama actually is dressed in the body. So the way the neshama functions and vitalizes the body is by being inside of the body. Shahadei shemislabesh has been machshava achas. Say when the neshama dresses itself up in one thought that the person has. So what happens then? He nitfeses umukefes bo. She becomes invested, captured, and surrounded in it, in that thought, to the extent that she cannot dress up in a other thought. As opposed to the ray and what extends from him, blessed. To vitalize and create these multitude of worlds and creation. Ad ein kates v'tachlis, till there is no end and no finish. The way the Eibishter vitalizes all these worlds and all the creation, and he has to vitalize a multitude of different levels and many at different levels. How does the Eibishter vitalize them? The Eibishter does not invest in himself, is not captured in them. The Kulam ain't the same Shavis, and all of these creations, they don't have the same minds. Their thoughts are not equal. So they're all different. And the Ein Machshava V'deya Achas Toifeses Umakefes Es Hachayis Hanim Shava. So this one thought of vesting itself into one of these 100 millions of all the various different creations, that thought does not encompass, it does not capture that energy, that does not capture and surround the energy that is invested in it, that is drawn to it, to preoccupy and to confuse and not allow, so we shouldn't be able to dress up in some other thought or other opinion. The Eibishter's chayis is not invested so that it should be stuck over there, and at the time that it's being mechayeh one level, it should be able to go. It doesn't happen there. Why? Because this ray and hamshocha einay elo bebechinas hashgacha ba'alma. That is only in a supervision alone. It's going to explain Hashem does not invest himself into the creations. Hashem just supervises. What does it mean, supervising? There is a level of scanning, that you scan everything at once. Yes, the Eibishter scans, and there's a specific, detailed supervision, what he scans and everything that he sees, but yet it's in a level of a scan that he just looks at it in a general, in a way that he's not invested in it. It says in the parenthesis, Pirush. What does it mean? We're not saying that the Eibishter does not go into every separate creation separately. No, the Eibishter watches everything. Even though that there is a very specific supervision, individualized and specific division, al kol darkei ish va'alilos mitzadei govern, on all the ways of man and all the happenings of the step of man. Hashem looks and watches everything specifically. But however, it's in a different way than when a person knows something. This is not the same as when a person knows something. At that point, when a person wishes to know something, so then his knowledge, what he knows, he is dressed up in that thing that he knows. So at the time that he knows something, he is invested, he is dressed up in that which he knows. Avol, so that's by a human. But by Boyis Baruch, Avol Boyis Baruch, but by Hashem blessed, it's not so. Elo al derech, but by Hashem, it's similar to what we say. Hakoil golui v'yodu al lefonav. Everything is open, is revealed and known before him. It's not an act of knowing. It is basically, it's revealed. He knows it. He knows it in a way, not an engaged knowing, not an invested knowing, but it is open to him. He knows it before Hashem. It's known. But because of Mizebedibra Maschadroni Besimche Beparshas Miketz, Posik Ebdeno Be'ere in Parshas Vayera. Ve'eino nitfeses umulubeshes mamesh betoich hanivroim. It is not actually captured and dressed up inside of the created being. But rather, Hashem looks, and all generations go before him. He has a look and his mabit, all of them, biskira achas, with one scan. Like the Pasuk says, he creates their hearts together. He understands all their actions. So that means it's in a way of together, their heart, he gets it all together, looks at all their actions all together. That's why that ha'orah, we're explaining why it's called HaKodesh Baruch Hu. So that ha'orah v'hamshocha, the way it comes from the level of Kodesh, that Vav, Bechinas Kodesh Umuvdal, it's in a way that it's holy and separated. Elo, Shehu Kodesh Bivav, but this is Kodesh with a Vav versus Kodesh, but it's Kodesh. Kodesh Bivav Shemoire, that points al Hamshocha, that there is Hamshocha. Shehi Hamshochas Hashgochos Kirachas. That is the bringing down, when you bring down that supervision and that one scan, that is the Vav of the level of Kodesh. So, Inyan Hamalochim Sha'imrim, and this is also the idea of the Malachim Sha'imrim that say, Gimel Pa'amim Kodesh. Say that the Malachim, the various different levels. So we say, they say 3 times Kodesh. Until they say Hashem Tzivokis. First they say Kodesh, 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 3 times Kodesh, and then they say Hashem Tzivokis. What is Hashem Tzivokis? The word Tzivah Ois. That the Eibishter, the Gemara Chagiga says that Ois Hu B'Tzava Delechulu. That is one letter of the name of Hashem, which is in the army, in all of these armies. He has one letter, Ois. So this is also the idea of the level of Hamshocha, from the Kodesh, 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 until it comes to the level in which it's an Ois and Tzava. Zehu, and this is also the idea, Ein Kodesh Kahavaya. So we say there is nobody Kodesh like Havaya. So what does the Zohar explain? No, Pirush Bezohar Parshas Tazriya. So the Zohar in the Parshas Tazriya explains that the Kamo Kadishin Ninu. There are many levels of Kodesh. Ein Kodesh Kavaya. There's no Kedusha, Belav Kadishin Kahavaya. But there is no Kadishim like the Shem Havaya. That means Ein Kodesh Kavaya. So there's various different madregas in Kodesh, but there is no Kodesh Kavaya. So what is the idea? Kishem Havaya Hainu Shem Haves HaKoel. When we say Shem Havaya, that means we're talking about the Eibishter that creates everything. That's why it's called Havaya. Yud Kei Vav Kei means Havaya. So even though that he creates everything, he is still holy and separate from them in a way of that he surrounds the world and he is not invested in and it's not similar to the soul, as we said before. The soul fills, and this is surrounded. This kind of kedusha, to be separated and at the same time to also be mechaya, there is nothing else like that. Ein kodesh kavaya. There's no other kodesh like havaya. Havaya is different in that it does both, that it's higher and also invested. Lochein b'chinas kodesh kozeh, such a level of kodesh kozeh lo nimtza b'chol b'chinas kadishin deleilim. You don't find it in all the level of the kadishim v'avo. You don't find it. Nay. Shebechol sidre hishtalshus. When we talk about all of the orders of the evolution, mi shenikra kodesh, someone who is called kodesh, which means shehu muvdal me'ezudover. If he is kodesh, which means he's whole, that he is separated from an item, lo yimotzei boy ha'hofchi. then you cannot find the opposite in them. If he is separate, in that you can find the opposite. That is to expand and to hold on into the item which is holy and separate from him. You can't have both things together. If he is separate, he's not connected. As opposed to above in the Eidus of Baruch Hu. When we talk about the same Kol which is holy and separated, and still who Dafke, he being separated is the one that brings into being, is Mahave, creates all these worlds. She'iker hachayis v'ha'is habus, the main energy, life force, and creation, umebchinas ha'makif, comes from the level of makif. Meshkos, u'b'sefer shel beinu seif perik chov gimel, v'seif perik mem ches. V'chein hu b'etz chayim, she'hamakif mitzach tzeyach ha'kli mibachutz chulu. That the makif is what polishes the vessels from the outside. That means that it comes from also the makif, the nimi, that's why we say there is no Kodesh Lashem, because the only Kedusha that is able to be separated and vitalized at the same thing, this is the Shem Havaya. So, and this is also the meaning the who tof is bekulhu almim, that he is caught by all worlds al yidei sheseviv kol almim mahaba machayosam, by surrounding all worlds and creating them and vitalizing them. Al yidei zeh me'ayin, through circling them, he brings them into me'ayin liyesh, from ex nihilo, from nothingness into existence. Im kolzeh leisman the toughest bay, there is still nobody that can capture him. And he's holy and separated, etc. That's ein kodesh kavaya, that's the special kodesh kavaya. Base. V'hinei ksiv su yideichem kodesh uvorchu es Hashem. Raise your hand, Kodesh. You have to bring down, Baruch, you have to bless Hashem to Kodesh, you have to bless Hashem, meaning be Mamshich Hashem. Yamshoch has Kodesh. Is because to bring down the level of Kodesh that it should be. Kodesh Kol Hashem Tzivokis Tzricho Librocho V'Hamshocho Tomid B'Chol Ter V'Ter, that needs a blessing and a Hamshocha and a drawing down in every generation. Shelo Yistalik HaChayis Mipnei Hadoir Shein Roi L'Kach, so that vitality should not leave cause of a generation who is not fitting for this. You need to anew bring down the blessed holiness again. Where do we take this blessing and this hamshocha? Kodesh Eli. Let's read Echem Kodesh, the level of Kodesh Eli, Supreme Kodesh. Sholem Mailo Mibechinas Kodesh Bevov, which is way higher than the level of Kodesh would above. That's Kodesh. Shuinyan Hamshocha Liyis Malakal V'Sevukal. The Kodesh would above is to be Malakal V'Sevukal. But here we're trying to be mamshich from the level of kodesh, mashenk and kodesh. That is at all not in the boundaries, It's not in the definitions at all. It's not in world. It's called Doish by himself. Kodesh by himself. Who the Milo Mibchinas Sevim Kol Malakul Almim Mibchinas Sevim Kol Almim. It is way higher, both from Malakul Almim and Sevim Kol Almim. All of Nemar, and about this level, it's written Im Tzodakto Matitanloi. If you are righteous, you don't give Hashem anything. What do you give him? If you do a lot of sins, you don't do anything to Hashem, which means over there, the sins don't blemish at all. And from there extends Shef Habrocha, flow of blessing, that they should come down, draw down the Ein Sof, blessed Ein Sof, into the creation. Gam Shaloi Lifli Masei. Also, not according to their actions. Hashem, to bring him down, even though not the deserving, it's a generation that doesn't deserve the Kodesh. You reach up to Kodesh, which is a level which in Tzedakta Matitna, which is higher than accountability, and from there you're mamshich into that generation, the chayes that it needs. So Loshi in HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Say HaKodesh Baruch Hu. ShaHaKodesh Bevov. That when we say the Kodesh Bevov, Shehu Inyan Hamshochas Hamshocha Lahavos L'chayes HaNivroyim. That is the idea of to vitalize Nivroyim. Who Baruch V'Nimshach. He is blessed and he extends Mekodesh Al Yin Tomid, from the level of Kodesh B'chol Der V'Der, in every generation. Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's all that's all the time. Ach hagoyrem lehashpia shefa brocha v'amshocha mekodesh Elyon. But what is it that causes to bring the flow of a blessing and the amshocha from the kodesh Elyon? Liya is kodesh b'vav, to be kodesh with a vav. Heim Yisrael. Those that didn't do that. Al yidei su yideichem kodesh, through raising their hands to kodesh. Then uvarchu es Hashem, they bring down the Shem Havaya, they bring down that there should be kodesh with a vav, even when the generation does not deserve it. Varaina, what is the idea? I would say su yideichem. So what is raise your yideichem? This is going to refer to the two psukim of Shema. Yideichem, the plural. But inyan ki yideichem is beis yodai. Yideichem, those are the two hands. And beis psukim harishonim shebekriya Shema. This is talking about the two first psukim in the Shema, which is Shema Yisrael. Baruch Shem Kived Machus Eloheinu Bar. These two psukim are the two hands that we're talking about. Sheheim Tzrichim Kavonas Haleiv. These are the psukim that require the intent of the heart. La'akiv. The halacha is that if you didn't have kavona in the first two psukim, then you have to do it again, as opposed to the rest of the Shema B'diavad. You don't have to go back if you didn't have kavanah. So that means these are the main two psukim. What are these two psukim represent? What do they represent? Those are the level of the supreme level of yichud, the yichud that comes milmayl lamata, that there is no existence of the world. And yichud tato, the bitla yesh, that the yesh subjugates himself to the Ein Sof. Yichud Eilah means limseir nafshei be'echad, that is to give up his soul when he says the word echod, one, Nashma Yisrael Hashem Hashem echod, b'mesiras nefesh mamish, with actual mesiras nefesh. Shatishtapeich nafshay liyos betelo v'nichleles b'yidin so baruch hu, that his soul should pour itself out to be totally negated, bottled, and included in the light of the Ein Umiyuchedes b'matzila baruch hu, to be united in the Maitzel. Blessed be He, kimoi sheyordo b'olam hazeh, as it was prior, before it descended into this world. When the soul reflects in the meaning of the word echad, which is b'bchinas yichudei ilah, this is the level of yichudei ilah, which is eich shahu echad mameshu levadehu v'ened milvadeh, how Hashem is actually one, that there is only Him, and there's nothing else besides Hashem. Yichud Eloh, there's really no creation through that reflection. Yichud Eloh, ilazois. So for that reason, tichle v'tichsoif hanefesh lotzis minartika, the soul yearns, it expires, and it wants to go out of its seat, hu meiser haguf chulu, which is the imprisonment, the incarceration of the body. The body holds it. The neshama wants to go up to the higher level. That's yichudei ilah. Then comes yichudei tato, the lower level of yichud. Yibechinas, that is the level of bal korchoch atochai. After meditating on echad, you come to the level of bal korchoch atochai. That level of bittul. The hainu. After it already it came down, that it already comes down in the level of Shem Kved Malchusei, Li Yois Malchus Kol Eilomim, to vitalize all the worlds. After the energy of Hashem that comes down into the world, to vitalize Malahavish Mind Liyesh Dafke, to create specifically from Ayin and make it into a Yesh, into an entity which is not the Yichudei Ilah, which says there is no existence. But after it's created and there is an existence, there's a Yesh here. Yesh Gashmi, and there has to be a Yesh Gashmi. Balkor Choch Atochai, there has to be a Yesh Gashmi. Then you have the Yichudei Tator, that the Yesh should be bottled, which means Sheyehei Hayesh bottled v'nichlol gam kein b'eirin so baruch hu, that also this entity also should be bottled, subjugate, and included in the blessed light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. How? By doing the mitzvahs and not following his desires. B'kiyum oitzem einov mir oiz b'ra, by fulfilling, to close his eyes and not to look on bad, ubishmirose mimachshavos virhurim, and to guard themselves from thoughts and reflection asher lo ila Hashem heima, which are not to Hashem, and not to follow and turn after your hearts. That's the level of bittul hayesh, to take the yesh and to be bittul to Hashem. So that's the level of yichud tato. These two levels of yichud ilah and yichud tato, those are the two hands. Suyidechem, the two hands. Suyidechem. Hidroya Yemina, the right hand is the Yemina Tchabkeni. That's the right hand that hugs. The right hand hugs you. What does it mean? It's when a person hugs his friend, so that he doesn't move around here and there. He holds on to it. This is also what the idea of the Yichudei Lo, b'bchinas Yichud Mamesh b'Maitzil Elyon Baruch Hu. That's the right hand is to hold you, to have that higher level of Yichud, the supreme Yichud, in a way of holding on in Maitzil Baruch Hu, holds you on tight. That's one level. And then you have the second level, the left hand, and the level of Yichud Tato, he Chinas Droya Smola, that is the left hand. Chinas Gevura, Gevuris, that's the level of Gevuris. Shema'achar Shadoya Gashmi Sa'olam, the Yesh Vinifred, since he sees the physicality of the world as an entity which is separate, so you need Gevura. So over there is Tzorich Liyez B'chinas is Gabrus Moed, then you have to be very strong. Hein Besur Meira, both in staying away from bad, which is Oitzem Einov, to close your eyes, and Behain, and also B'chinas Vasei Toiv, also in the level of doing good in the positive, Yoiser Mitivoy, to go beyond your nature or Gelusa and what you're accustomed to. The Sefer shall beining perit as well. And these two levels of the hands, Chudetato and Yichudei Hein B'chinas Nesius V'Haloah, they are in a level that you raise them and you bring them up LeKodesh HaElyon. So you dechem Kodesh. You bring it up to the Kodesh HaElyon, Batul B'Echlal, and Ba'ir is so Baruch Hu Mamish, to be subjugated and included in the blessed light of the Ein Sof, actually, She'einei B'Geder Omen Klal. In that level of Ein Sof, which is not at all in the boundaries, it's not in the definition of the world at all, which is Lamailo, B'Bchinas Memalu, B'Bchinas Soive, which is higher than Memalu and Soive. You raise up to the level of Kodesh, and through this, Uvarchu es Hashem, then you bring down Hashem. That there should be drawn down a flow of blessing and hamshacha to extend li is gilui oir and that there should be a revelation below. As the pasuk says, Im yosim elof liboy, that if you put your heart to Hashem, azai ruchoy v'nishmosei elov Yosef, then you will get yosim elof liboy. Then you will merit that Hashem will give you your spirit and your soul will come down to you. What is the Hashem's ruach v'nishmosei? What does it mean? What is Hashem's spirit and soul that comes down through us? Yedechem kodesh, returning to Hashem. Ruach v'nishmosei hein chayis v'oire in sof baruch hu. That is the chayis, and the sof baruch hu b'chinas kodesh. That is the level of kodesh. Elov Yosef that comes to him, that this should also be a revelation of the Ein Sof also below, and you get the Uvarchu es Hashem through the Suyidechem Kodesh raising up, and then you get the Hamshocha. That is didn't remove from holding it to call the Imshik Moi. Just as by way of example, a mother blesses her children. So we bless Hashem or we draw down Hashem. We're mevorech as Hashem. Sheheim em mamshichim chinas kodesh liyes habayit tzvokis. They bring down the level of kodesh, that from kodesh should be habayit tzvokis, which means mikodesh ha'elyin, from the level of kodesh ha'elyin to come to be habayit tzvokis. Al yidei nisiyis yideyim bichudei lo bichudei, by raising their hands in both the level of Yichudei Lo and Yichudei Torah. And Zehu Shomer Razal, Razal said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kora Imi. Hashem calls Knesset Yisrael, calls her my mother, Pirush. HaKadosh, Pirush, Bechinas Kodesh B'Vav. HaKadosh, the level of Kodesh B'Vav, HaMoire, Al HaHamshoche, that points to the Hamshoche when it comes down, is Kora the Knesset Yisrael Imi. Calls the Knesset Yisrael, calls them Imi. Why? Sheheim, Heim HaMamshichim Kinal. They are the ones that bring it down, as we said before. V'ayim B'Zoyar, V'yikro, Tav Yigimol Amedal.